All right, everybody. For those of you who don't know, my name is Michael Forrest, and welcome to It's Quest Time. Now, before we get going, if I can ask all of you to, stay off of the stage area. This way, nobody blocks this big display, and it gives me a little bit of room to move around, do the whole hosting thing, right? Also, I'm going to ask you guys not to send me any text messages while I'm up here, because listen, when you're up here and you get a text message, it's like hitting a wall, except it's a wall of text, and that can really throw you off. So if you can hold off any questions or comments until the end of the event, I'd really appreciate it. And really, the best way to get a hold of us is by joining our Discord. You'll find the address right here on the front of the stage right there. That's the best way to reach us. And now, if I can draw your attention to the microphone icon at the very top of your menu wheel, looks kind of like, where'd my slides go? Here we go. Looks kind of like this right here. When that's clear, that means we can hear everything that's happening in your environment. And I do mean everything, right? So we're going to go ahead and we're going to turn that to red. And now this means that you're muted. So if somebody comes into your space and says, hey, are you still on that thing? Don't worry, answer them, because we're not going to hear it. Likewise, if maybe you have a barking dog in the background, we're not going to hear that. And you're not going to face social ruin back at the campfire by becoming known as the avatar that suddenly started barking during its quest time, right? All right. Now, just because you're muted does not mean you can't express yourself. You're going to notice in your menu wheel, you have this pink cheek smiley face. And when you click on it, your emoji panel is going to open up in the air right before you, giving you a wide variety of options with which to express yourself. So let's say I share something really deep and powerful up here and it builds up inside you. You can just let it out and let it flow just like that. Maybe I got some backup dancers backstage, right? And they come out and we break into It's Quest Time, the musical, and you're all very impressed by the production value. You can throw up the applause I live for, and I can take a moment to drink it all in because it feels good. If I ask you guys a yes or a no question, you can say yes by smiling like this, or you can say no by frowning like that. If I say something funny, you can show me you're laughing by doing this silly faced emoji right here like that. And then there's this thing. Right. This is by far the most distracting of all the emojis. I think we can agree on that. A giant hand coming out of your head, that's pretty distracting, right? And we're going to use this as kind of a signal. So let's say that maybe, my voice goes choppy. I'm going to want to know that. Or maybe, my producers had enough and they, set the stage on fire. That's happened before. It'll probably happen again. And I'm going to want to know if something like that goes down. That's going to be, the stage is laughing at me. You hear that? But yeah, I'm going to want to know that kind of thing if that happens. Now, if I see one of you going like this throughout the whole event, it might just be you you might just need to re-enter or might be somebody messing around, so I'm just going to keep on going. But if I see 5 of you doing it at one time, I know it's something I'm going to need to address, right? And of course, if you press the X in the middle of that panel, it'll make it go away. But it's a good idea to leave it open during events like this because, for one, it lets me know how I'm doing, gives me some good feedback, but also it lets the person next to you know what they're experiencing. So if the person next to you starts going like this, right? That means, I'm being told my voice is choppy. All right, you may not agree with that. Let's see. What I'm going to do is I'm going to re-enter the space to fix the voice. It's the Altspace equivalent of clearing the voice out. All right. I'm seeing waves handing. No, saying no, it's not. It's not choppy. It is choppy. It is choppy. I'm getting mixed hand signals here. Let me just re-enter this to be safe. That is known to help that issue. I will be right back.
It's not choppy. Who said it's choppy? It's not choppy. Do you want to go somewhere else?
No. Let's see.
Oh, wow, what's going on here? Look at this. All these avatars in here. Look at this. What's going on? What's this?
Hi.
What's going on, Sierra 14? How's it going? Look at that. All these people. Oh, that's a lot.
Hello.
There we go. Oh, wait. It's my event. I got to get on stage. Oh, sorry. I forgot. All right, everybody. Kind of here. If you're on a Quest 2 right now, put your hands up like this. All right? Very good. All right. Did my voice clear up? Did my voice cleared up? Give me some emojis. Like, show me some smiley faces that the voice is better. We're doing good? All right, good. Excellent. All right, how many of you are on original Quest, like a Quest 1? If you're on a Quest 1, put your arms up like this. Any original Quest users? All right, we got a few of you. That's good. All right, how many of you are new to Altspace? If you're new to Altspace, put your arms up like this. Let me see. Wow, that's a lot. All right, well, welcome to Altspace. We've got a lot of cool stuff in here. I think you're going to enjoy it. How many of you are new to VR? If you're new to VR, put your arms up like this. Let me see. All right, that's still a little bit weird for you, right? It takes a little bit of time to get used to. Listen, when I was waiting for my Quest to arrive, I was on an Oculus Go. And an Oculus Go, you have one controller, right? Now, I grew up in Brooklyn, so I'm used to talking with my hands a lot. You're going to see my hands moving around constantly while I'm up here. But when I was in Altspace with the one controller, all anybody saw was my one hand going like this, right? And I didn't feel like I was expressing myself as fully as I could. So I couldn't wait to get that second hand. I couldn't wait to get that controller. And when my first Quest arrived, I took one look at those buttons and I was like, you know what? Those are a lot of buttons. That's a lot to take in. It's a lot to keep track of. And you'll pick it up after a few days to a week or so. And then when my Quest 2 arrived, I took a look at those buttons and I was like, you know what? Those are the same buttons. They really are. And there's only a few differences that you need to keep in mind. So what we say about the Quest 2 will also apply to the Quest 1. The object of this event is to get you used to Altspace in a way that you can get the most out of your Quest or Quest 2 in Altspace. All right. And while we look at these controllers first, let me just talk about the differences between them. What you have on the Oculus Quest 2 is you have a little bit extra room on the side of the controller in case your thumb gets tired. All right. They call it a thumb rest. And when you press down on that thumb rest, you're going to find that your thumb goes down, just like that. Your avatar's thumb goes down. But on a Quest 2 and a Quest 1, when you touch your thumb to the buttons without pressing down, you'll find your avatar's thumb also goes down. If you touch your thumb to the thumbstick, you'll also find that your avatar's thumb just goes down like that, right? So that's a good thing to keep in mind. The other difference too is there's where it says Oculus Home, that bottom button on your controller, that curved button, it's kind of concave in shape, right? On a Quest 1, that's a flat button. But other than that, the controls are pretty much identical. All right. So what I like to do is I like to go over these controls to make sure you guys, know how to move around and navigate. But listen, if you're here today, you already know the basics. You know, the left thumbstick's going to move you around like this. You know, the right thumbstick's going to turn you in these circles. And when you combine them, you get these big, elaborate circles that make my presentation so much more dramatic. If everybody could do this, go into these big circles like this, let me see, because when I look out over that audience, it's going to look like you guys are ballroom dancing. And let's see. Wow, you guys look fancy. That's really cool. I always say I wish you guys could see what this looks like. And if you'd like to, you could stand up in front of the room here on this rug here and look up at Ravenhall. That's our YouTube camera. So if you want to feel VR famous, you can wave on out and be like, hey, YouTube, how's it going? We got a lot of people in here. We got JoJo. We've got Broken Head. We've got Jeff. We've got Elia. We've got, we got Permafox. We've also got Ed. We got a lot of people in here, right? So you want to meet any of these nice people, just come on in Altspace. I think you're going to love it. All right, everybody, let's get talking about these controls. And the first button we're going to talk about is your grip button on the side of the controller, both here and here. You're going to use this to interact with your environment, whether you're shooting off those bottle rockets in your home space, whether you're throwing bean bags around the fire, or whether you're building worlds with your own two hands in Altspace. This grip button is going to be essential for grabbing stuff. If you've never used it before, maybe my backup dancers can toss me out some basketballs here, right? I'm going to throw these out here, and you can go ahead and grab those and throw this around. Now, listen, if you're having a room scale experience, right, for some reason, whenever you walk out past your main menu in a room scale experience, you're going to find that when you do, somebody always asks you to open your main menu. Right, and you're going to be like, oh, where is this thing? And you're going to look around for it, and you're going to like, I don't see any blue and white triangle. Where did it go? And then you look behind you, and you're like, oh, it's behind me, and it always is. It's important to remember that on Oculus Quest and on an Oculus Quest 2, your main menu is in your hands at all times. On your left controller, this bottom button here where it says ASVR menu, whoa, somebody got one of the basketballs up here. Look at that. Look at that. Somebody made it. Look at that. All right, let's toss that back out there. Ooh, okay, hook shot. All right, so when you press on that bottom button on your left controller, that's going to open up your Altspace menu. All right, so if you can't see where your blue and white triangle menu button is, no big deal, right? I'll be honest with you, I haven't pressed that triangle button in months. All I do is I flick my hand out like that, and boom, my menu's open, right? And then when I want to close it again, I flick my hand out, and boom, my menu's closed. You don't have to do the hand flick. I just feel like it adds something, don't you think? All right, now another button you need to be aware of is this raised up, right next to your thumbstick, you have these two raised up buttons. This top one is your teleport button. Let's give that a try. If everybody can join me over here along this wall, everybody come up over to this side of the room, right over here, form a nice line, everybody. What we're going to do is we're going to hold down that teleport button, that raised up button next to your thumbstick at the very top, and aim it right at the ground, and you're going to see that you have a teleport target there, right? Now, if you aim it across the room toward the wall with the window there, as soon as you let go, boom, you get thrown right across the room. Everybody teleport over to me while there's still time. You can make it. I believe in you. Now, what I'd like you to try doing is hold down your left trigger button, right, just like that, and when you hold down that left trigger button, this is going to cause you to accelerate or go faster, whether you're walking or flying. So let's give that a try. Now, let's go out into a big circle, everybody, all right? And maybe we can make like a whirlpool. Maybe we can make it rain. Try to maintain that circular motion by looking at the middle of the room there. And you may feel dizzy, especially if you're new to VR. And if you're feeling dizzy, you should probably not do this thing. Let's see how you're doing. Wow, you guys are like really circular today. Usually you guys do like a figure eight or it's kind of all over the place, but that's like really organized. You guys are good at this. Very nice. All right, excellent. Who's getting dizzy? If you're getting dizzy, put your hands up. Everybody get dizzy from doing that? All right, I'm going to show you a trick in a little bit on how to take care of dizziness in VR if that happens to you, okay? So when you get that motion sickness feeling, there's a few tricks that you can use, and I'm going to show you how to do that in just a minute. But let's get through with these controls first. All right, now, while these are a lot of buttons, it's important to remember that some of these buttons do the same thing. You're going to find that the select button here and your right trigger button, and if you have your left pointer enabled through your main menu, this left select button here, they all do the same thing. And you can try this now. Hold down your right trigger in your right hand and move your arm through across the room and look at everybody and point pointed at everybody in the room, and you're going to see all these name tags appear up above people's heads. That's how I know that that's Ed over there, and that's 000, and that's Cat 1111, right? So you can see everybody's name by doing that. All right, now let's see what else we have. Oh yeah, on a Quest you need to worry about your vertical height. When I first came into Altspace on a Quest, I went to the campfire, and I was much taller than everybody else. And I was like, what's going on? Why is everybody so down low, right? And the reason for this is you have to worry about your vertical height. If 000, you want to change your vertical height for me? Kind of move your avatar up a little bit if you don't mind showing everybody. All right, or anybody else? Anybody want to raise their height up a little bit for me? Go up tall there. Stand up or go down there. There you go. All right, let's see. We got Permafox doing it. Permafox, if you would, press down on your left thumbstick like it's a button, because it is, and show everybody what happens. Boom. You see how he snapped into place like that? Anytime you want to adjust your vertical height, you can. You can also use this to make minor adjustments to your height. So let's say you're talking to somebody that you know in real life, and in real life they're taller than you, and it feels weird that they're a little bit shorter than you in Altspace. What you can do is just look up like this and press down on that left thumbstick, and your avatar is going to pop down, right? So you're going to be a little bit shorter. If you want to be the same height as everybody else, just look straight ahead, because this movement's connected to your head. Look straight ahead, press down on that left thumbstick, and boom, you'll snap right into place, right? Now, if you want to feel a little bit taller than somebody, all you have to do is look down and press down on that left thumbstick, and your avatar is going to pop up a little bit, right? And this is going to cause you to feel a little bit taller, right? So you can make these minor adjustments to your height that way. All right, now let's see here. What else do we got? Let's see here. Okay, I think that's pretty good. All right, we got, oh yeah, when I started messing around with this stuff, when we're doing the teleport stuff, right? If you face the stage, right, and you go to teleport down to the ground in front of you and move backwards while holding down your left accelerator button, that left trigger, and you kind of go backwards, you can teleport at the ground and kind of go into the Altspace moonwalk, which I'm hoping is not a copyright, infringement, because that would be bad. And when I first started messing around with this stuff, another thing you can do is you can teleport backwards. Everybody put your hand over your heads like this and go boom, and you can teleport backwards, just right over your shoulder, teleport, and you'll be like a real professional, be like, oh yeah, I'm going to back up. I'm going to do it right now. I just did that. Check that out. All right. Now, I started messing around with this stuff. Back then, I was going to the Universe a lot. And back then, it was held in a very large world. And at the end of the event, I went up to the edge of the world exploring, and I went a little bit too far, and I fell. And as I'm falling, I look over and I see this cliff area over there, and I reached out my arm and I teleported onto that cliff before I can respawn, because it's not like you can get hurt in Altspace, right? But, I knew in that moment that I was finally getting used to the controllers, and you will too. And trust me, there's going to come a time where, even though you will always feel the plastic of the controllers in your hands, there's going to come a time when these actually become your hands, where you don't think about the controllers as you're doing it. If I tell everybody, hey, look out that window, right? I don't think about how I'm pointing. I just do it. And to show you guys how I'm doing that, right, these gestures that I'm using, right, what you do is if you hold down your grip buttons, you're going to find that your hands go into a point. Right. And you can use this in a variety of ways. You can, maybe go like this and give me a Brooklyn hello. That's how we do it back home. Be like, how you doing, everybody? How you doing? Just go like that. Very nice. And if you put them together like this, you can make kind of a triangle. Give me the Altspace logo, right? And hold it up nice and high like that with a good, a good stretch out like that. Show a little Altspace pride there. Maybe you could twist them around like this and make kind of a picture frame, right? Just like that. Maybe how cool would it be to take screenshots like this? All you do is snap your trigger button like that. And you're like, snap, snap. You're a beautiful audience. Snap, snap. Just like that. Now, if you hold your grip and your trigger buttons together, you can give me 2 thumbs up. Let me know I'm doing a good job up here, right? Maybe I'm not. Maybe you're like, you know what, Michael Forrest, that choppy voice at the beginning, I don't know. That was less than professional. 2 thumbs down, right? Maybe you don't know yet. You're like, give Michael Forrest a little bit more time. I'll just keep it open here. A little bit of both there. Maybe put them together like this. I don't know what that means, but I see people doing it. Maybe go like this, make a W. That's pretty cool. One of the first Quest times we ever had, we had somebody come up to the stage going like this, right? I thought it was cool, so I did it back. And then the whole audience started going like this, right? And really, honestly, that's the best way to pick this stuff up. When you see somebody doing something you like, just mirror that gesture and make it your own. All right. And eventually you're going to hit a point where you don't think about the buttons that you're pushing. These just become your hands. These just become your eyes. These just become your ears. And that's really immersion. And that's really what it's all about. I see you got a hand up there, Permafox. We will be taking questions at the end. Can you hang on to that for just a little bit? That'd be good. All right, cool. All right, good. We got the thumbs up there. All right, everybody. Now let's see. Now there's another button here you need to be concerned about, and that's this bottom button on your right controller. All right. Now, even though it says Oculus Home, right? But you got to think of this as kind of like an eject button. This is your best route out of Altspace. And sometimes, if somebody comes into your space and says, "Hey, dinner's ready," you'll be like, "Oh, gotta go," and you just press that button, and then you press quit, and you go about, you have your dinner and all that kind of stuff, right? But this is also good to press when things go horribly wrong, right? Let's say, for example, I look out the window there. right? And as I turn my head back, the whole world moves with me. When this happens, it can make you feel kind of dizzy, right? You can get that kind of that dizziness feeling. And when it happens, it pays to have a quick route out of Altspace. So what you do is you press that eject button one time, and you'll see a menu come up that'll ask you if you want to quit or you want to resume. Now, this is great if you press it by accident. Like, let's say I'm dancing around the Universe. I'm at one of those open mic nights, and I'm dancing around, and I accidentally press that button. All I have to do is press resume, and I'll come back into Altspace. It'll be like I never left, right? But let's say something that does go wrong, like where I got the whole world moving with me. I just hit that eject button and then hit quit and then restart the app. And that's going to take care of most of the problems that you're going to have in Altspace, all right? But occasionally something more serious might happen. Like, for example, if I look out toward the window again, but this time when I look over, I see I've got black edges on the side of my screen, and I'm like, uh-oh, it's the void. And I see that, up at the top and the bottom and the right, all the edges of my screen are surrounded in black, and it's closing in, and all of you find people are all frozen in space like this, and it's all very dramatic, right? And then I go, oh, I know what to do here. I'll press the eject button, right? And nothing happens. And then I'm like, Michael Forrest, you lied to me. How could you? I mean, I wouldn't say that, but you might say that, right? So what you want to do in a case like this is that your device is frozen. This doesn't just happen in Altspace. This happens in other apps as well, all right? And the way you get around this is by restarting your headset. However, right, it does pay to know how to restart your headset while it's still on your head. Because if you take it off to restart it and it's not in a charge cycle and you plug it in and it's not lighting up, you might get to thinking, wow, there's something wrong with my headset, especially if you're in a rush and it's not restarting quickly enough. So it really pays to know how to restart it while it's on your head. And the way you do this is you take your index finger of your right hand and you swipe it up and down on the side until you feel a raised up power button. And then what you do is on your left hand, you press against the headset. This way you don't end up moving your headset all over the place and you hold. That's very uncomfortable. No. What you do is you swipe up and down until you feel that raised up power button, and you counterbalance with your left hand right there, your left index finger, and you kind of squeeze them together. And I find it helps if you look down like you're in a deep concentration pose like that, right? And after a few seconds, you concentrate so hard your avatar disappears and you get plunged into the darkness, but you don't let go. You ride it out. 10 seconds go by and you start to wonder. You're like, why did Oculus make this take so long? It takes a while. 15 seconds go by, you start thinking about friends you haven't seen in a while, you wonder how they're doing. 20 seconds go by, and you start thinking about life. You start asking the big questions, you start thinking about those larger things, and after about 20 something seconds go by, all of a sudden the Oculus logo emerges out of the darkness and like the bat signal. And when it starts to pulse, right, that's when you take your hands away, just like that. And you're going to find that your device restarts normally after that. And, and then it's just going to take care of most of the problems that you're going to have, not just in Altspace, but in other apps as well. Occasionally, though, something more severe might happen. Like a few weeks ago, I came into Altspace and I got up on stage and I'm like, hey, everybody. And all of a sudden I just disappeared. And I was back at the Oculus home screen and I'm like, what was that? So I came back into Altspace and I was like, oh, I'm sorry, everybody. I'm having some technical problems. Anyway, welcome to It's Quest Time. And then all of a sudden I disappeared again. I'm like, something's going on. So I tried reinstalling the app and that didn't work. It kept happening. I kept disappearing. I was the disappearing Michael Forrest. I couldn't stay in any space for more than 2 minutes. I was desperate. I didn't know what to do. So in instances like this, what you want to do is a factory reset. All right. And you have to remember with a factory reset, it's good to know that that option is there because it's going to put your headset back the way it was when you got it. But you have to remember, if you have any picture saves on your device, you're going to lose those. You're going to have to re-download all of your apps again. The good news is you won't have to pay for them again, but you may lose some of your settings. Like you may even lose your Beat Saber scores. Okay, so this is absolutely serious business. All right, so you may lose those settings. You may have to redo all of your settings. Your Altspace settings, you'll have to get rid of those blinders that appear on the side again if you don't use those, because me personally, I can't stand those things. If anybody wants to know how to get rid of them, ask me at the end. I'll help you. All right, now let's see here. So now if you're here today, you already know how to use the Guardian system, right? And wait 1 second here. All right, okay, just making sure I'm in the right place. And before, when we were going around in that big circle, how many of you got dizzy? Put your hands up if you got dizzy before from doing this. I saw a bunch of you did before, right? Okay, listen, if that happens to you, one of the best ways to deal with dizziness in VR is take your hand, right, and hold it up to your face like this. Even though that's not your real hand, it gives you something to focus on. And while you focus on this, you're going to find that your dizziness is going to start to pass. And when it does, you can slowly take your hand away and take in the world around you, and you're going to find you feel better, right? Don't push it, because if you push it too far, it's going to be harder to get your VR legs. Go like a little bit at a time. All right, but one thing that can really help with this is using your Guardian system. Now, if you're here today, you're already familiar with your Guardian system. You've danced with the robot. You played with the blimp. That was a lot of fun, right? But what you're going to find is that you can use your Guardian system to your advantage in Altspace. And I like to tell people when they mess around with their Guardian system in VR to please be very careful, because a lot of times you'll see somebody walking along in Altspace, they're having a good day, and then all of a sudden, bam, they hit a real world wall. And those real world walls are a menace, and they need to be stopped. Plus, they're hard to say, right? But if I walk up to my real world wall right now, all right, and I'm going to lead with my hands, because, this way I don't bump into the wall, right? And, now you're going to find that the grid goes off. right? And I've got my hands like right by the grid, right by my wall, right? And I find I can still touch my thumbsticks, which means I can move my avatar around in VR while I'm standing still in front of my real world wall. And what I can do is I can anchor that wall or attach it to something in VR, making kind of a reality anchor. So I'm going to attach it to this screen right here, to this big display, and I'm going to back up from it, right? And I'm like, oh, wow, I feel really balanced. That's my wall. And oh, no. I've fallen in the audience, right? And now, let's say you guys are in a nice crowd. Maybe you guys can, like, come at me, stick your hands into my face, try to make me dizzy, just, kind of like whirlpool around me. Give me the worst you got, really. And I'm going to keep looking at that display, because as long as I can see that display, you're going to find that my words don't get messed up. I don't lose my place. And really, I don't seem to be affected by what you guys are doing at all. And the reason for this is because as long as I can see that display, and that display is huge, I feel connected to the real world. But you don't have to use something like that. You can use like the edge of the stage to line this up with your desk or your table, or whatever you have in your real world environment. You can use this as kind of a way to connect you into VR and make you feel a lot more balanced. And this is going to help you get past some of the initial dizziness that you may experience when you're new to VR. All right. Now, also, another thing you can do is you can transition between a room scale experience and a stationary experience pretty effortlessly in Altspace. So let's say I'm up here and, I've hosted over 500 events in Altspace. I have, and I'm tired. I'm exhausted. I don't know how much longer I can go on. So what I'm going to do is I need to sit down. So I'm going to go up to the edge of my boundary, right? I'm going to lead with my hands there. I'm going to make sure I've got enough room for my head to pass through. And listen, if you look through your Oculus settings under experimental features, you're going to find they have this cool thing where you can double tap the side of your headset and be able to see the real world, right? So I'll go like that. I go tap, tap, and I'll see I got my coffee mug right here, and I grab that, take a sip of that, and I'll toss it down. I'm going to have to clean that up later. And then I'm going to see I got my chair right there. So I'm going to go on over and I'm going to go sit in my chair. And as I turn around and sit in my chair, I'm going to have a blue button here in front of me that says, do you want to switch to a stationary experience? And I'm going to be like, I do. So I press that blue button and I find that the grid goes up again. And not only am I still in VR, but I'm still in Altspace. How about that? And this works in the other direction too. Let's say that there was one time I was moderating an event, and I felt like getting up and walking around. Big deal for me, so I figured I'd just get up and step into my Guardian, right? But sometimes your Quest and your Quest 2 can both lose your Guardian due to changing light levels, and for one reason or another, it can't resolve where it is in your space quickly enough. So it figures it'll just ask you to draw a new boundary. No big deal, right? But when there's 2 minutes left in the event, it's a very big deal. So I start drawing out that boundary, right? And I'm like, why is my space so big? I don't understand. And Hummingbird, of all the times I had to moderate for an admin, why did it have to be today? Right? So I'm sitting there and I'm drawing out that boundary, and eventually it closes and the grid comes back up. And you know what? I found that not only was I still in VR, but I was still in Altspace. I never actually left. Right. So this is good news for you, because you can go from a room scale experience to a stationary experience pretty effortlessly in Altspace. So if you're at an event and the host is doing a good job and he's got you all excited and stuff, and you feel like getting up and moving around, you can do it. Just be safe about it. Right. Also, if like, oh man, I didn't know this guy was going to go on for half an hour, I got to sit down. You can do that too. Right. So going to have that flexibility built in. All right. So that's kind of nice. All right. Another cool thing you can do, and this is not useful at all, this is just cool. If you go up to the edge of your Guardian and make sure you got enough room for your head to pass through, if you move your head through it super slowly, there's going to be this one spot where you're going to see both realities at the same time. And this is kind of neat, because you can see Altspace avatars in your home environment. Like my mom's in here with us, and you know what? A couple of days ago, she did that thing I'm talking about where she moved her head through, and it looked like I was standing in her kitchen. All right. And this is kind of neat, too, because it gives you a sense of the height of avatars. Like avatars are about 6 feet tall in Altspace, and they're a lot wider than you might think. And you don't realize this until you see them in a familiar environment, like your kitchen or, your living room, your office, or wherever it is you VR from. Right. Now, listen, one of the great things about the Quest is it just works. This doesn't mean it can't work better. There's a lot of accessories that can really improve the experience. And for the Oculus Quest 2, some of these accessories are really more like necessities. Right. Like a lot of people feel that the strap that comes with the Oculus 2 is very uncomfortable. One thing that can help with that is you have to remember that the strap is attached to these hinges, and you can actually kind of tilt those hinges to sort of anchor it on your head a little bit better. But some accessories like the Elite strap or the Elite gaming strap, those really improve the experience by a lot. There were problems with the Elite strap where they were breaking and they stopped shipping them for a while. They started shipping them again, and they're so confident in the new design that they've actually extended the warranty on this to 2 years. All right, so they're serious. They're like, it's going to work this time, and we're sorry for the inconvenience. All right, so that's important to keep in mind. But listen, if you've tried any of these accessories, want to hear about it, if you want to try any of the ones we recommend, you can go to altvr.com and go up to where it says channels in the upper left. And when you click on that, you're going to see all these wonderful Altspace event channels listed out there. And down toward the bottom, I'm told that doesn't mean anything. All right, down at the very bottom, you're going to see Ravenhall events. And when you click on that, you get taken to our event page. And there you'll see the products that we recommend on the left-hand side. You'll also see the join Discord button there. And, this way, if you want to ask any questions or just say hello, it's a great way to get a hold of us. And also in the upper right, you're going to see the subscribe button, the most important button on the internet, because it lets Altspace know that you enjoy our content. We don't get paid to do this. We are trying to. You may notice we got a Patreon sign in the back there, and the buy us a coffee link up there. But yeah, so that really helps out a lot when you guys want to do that. But really, the best way to support us is just by subscribing to our YouTube channel. And if you are watching that on YouTube, you're going to find links to a lot of this stuff in the description below. If you guys have tried any products like this, we want to hear about it. If you've tried any accessories, so we're going to open up for questions right now. And the way we're going to do this is you're going to see a raise hand button appear on your lower right as if by magic. It's true. That's what magic looks like in VR. And if you have any questions, just go ahead and press that raise hand button. It'll turn blue and you'll get on my list there. And while we wait for that to fill up, if you guys want to follow us on Twitter, you can find us at Ravenhall VR. All right, let's see what we already have. 1, 2. All right, cool. Let's see what we have here. We have 000. What's going on, Triple? How you doing?
So I was thinking about Shrub. Have you guys got any new thing about Shrub? Have you guys been?
We
able
haven't
to...
had any leads yet. We've been trying to get the model that it's based on and maybe bring them back that way. For those of you who don't know, we used to have this event in an older space, and next to the stage was that Shrub. And we put eyes on him. We put a VR headset, and he used to hold my tools. And when they made us move to a new set because the space got corrupt, we didn't get to take Shrub with us, and we miss him very much. So we put up that poster just to remember him by. All right, let's see. Who else do we have here? We have Dark Rogue. What's going on, Dark Rogue? How you doing?
Hey, I was just wondering, are there any ways that we can create events,
Absolutely.
And invite other people?
Yes, absolutely. It has never been easier to create events in Altspace. Every once in a while, you will see an event come up that says how to have an event, how to host an event in Altspace is one of them. If you go to the Altspace VR 101s, they touch on how to create an event in Altspace. Really, just by going up to over to the website and going to events and clicking on My Events, there you can create an event and you can go through the page of all the options. And if you get stuck, the event team in Altspace is really great to answer any questions if you're a new event host, or you can just join our Discord if you have any questions about how to start an event. We're happy to take those. It's never been easier than it is right now to actually host events in Altspace. The moderation tools they make available are pretty great. It's a lot easier than it used to be, but anybody can have an event in Altspace for any reason whatsoever. For myself, I don't get paid to do this. In the beginning, I started out on an Oculus Go, and there were a lot of problems being in Altspace on an Oculus Go, and I learned a lot of tricks on how to improve the experience, and I want to share it. So I started sharing that by having an event called It's Go Time, and then the Quest came out, and It's Go Time became It's Quest Time, and then we kind of got a theme going. So now we do about 10 events a week. All right, and you can too. It's super easy to do. It's very rewarding. Can't recommend it enough. All right, let's see. We also have Shusho. I hope I'm saying that right. Shusho, you're on the air. Where are you? I don't see you.
Yeah, here.
Oh, there you are. Hey, what's up?
Hi. Do you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you fine. We all hear you. What's going on?
Okay, thank you very much for this lecture. I want to say that you are doing this very professionally. You capture the audience, and it's a great pleasure to watch you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Oh, thank you so much. That's so nice of you to say. Do you have any questions?
Yeah, you're really operating your avatar. It's you create some kind of an energy, and it's nice. Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you so much. That's great to hear. Wow, that's awesome.
So
thank
I
you
wanted
so
to
much.
ask,
yeah,
if Altspace is capable of displaying a digital double made in a volumetric video capture.
There are a lot of people that are experimenting with that, and the automatic answer is people are going to say no, but I know that people have done it. All right. There's somebody in Altspace you might want to look around for him. You might see him in the campfire named Mr. Pete. He's had a lot of breakthroughs doing this, where he brings their 360 video, images in there. One thing that you can do with just the pictures, not so much the video, but the 360 pictures, is you can invert a sphere inside Unity and bring that in. Some of these techniques you can discuss in the SDK meetup that they have Wednesday nights and Thursdays. They go over this kind of cutting edge type stuff there, so check that out if you can find it, and you'll find some stuff there. There's also and also if you join the Altspace Discord as well, that's a great place to ask questions. Go to world building and just ask, has anybody had any luck with this, and you're going to get a lot of answers. All right, and a lot of people who have done it. All right, so let's see here. Let's see. We have time for one more. We have Permafox. All right, Permafox, you're on the air. What's going on?
Okay, so I want to add on to your real hands, these feel like your real hands.
Yes.
So, have any of you ever played Population 1? If you have, raise your hand.
Anyone? I haven't done that one yet. No, it looks like you're one of the new ones. Yeah, okay. Echo Arena, though. I played that one. That's a good one. I like Echo Arena.
All right, so Population 1, these actually feel like your real hands because you climb, you hold the guns with your actual hands.
Yeah, and there's a lot of games where you feel like that too, like in Echo Arena too. Like that's another one where you can feel your hands. Also in Half-Life Alyx is another one, right, where you climb in ladders and you're moving around, and it really VR's come a long way in terms of feeling immersive and stuff. It's a really great thing, and gonna have to check that out. Sounds like a good game. All right, let's see. We are a little bit over on time, but I'm gonna take one more. Mason, you're on the air. What's up, Mason?
Yeah, I've went on YouTube and looked up Altspace, and they show these places. They're really neat and stuff. Is there a way to search worlds, or like I want to go to that place? They tell you about it. How is there a way to get there? Because I don't see.
There's a couple of options that you have. First, you have to remember that Altspace has been around for about 6 years, and in that 6 years, the technology has changed a lot. So some of the older spaces that were around 6 years ago, they're a lot harder to find. But if you are in the World's Beta program, and you do this through your main menu by going to your Settings tab and going up to where it says General, you're going to see where they have the World's Beta program. If you're in that program, once you're on the website, you're going to have a pull down for more, right? Go to altvr.com and go to more, and there you're going to have one that says worlds, and there'll be an area where you can search by the world name. So if you know the name of that world, you might have a better time finding it that way.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
All right, everybody. Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to press this button up here, this Talon Call button. And when I press this, what's going to happen is you're going to see a Ravenhall Talon hovercraft go down the street. Hey, Morgan, my button's stuck. If you don't mind pressing this for me, I'd appreciate that. My producer's going to have to push this for me. But when Morgan presses this button, you're going to see a Talon hovercraft go down the street. Right. So direct your attention out the window. Miss Producer, you out there? Let's see.
I am. I'm wondering if we should invite all these lovely people to It's Time to Move.
We could. All right. Yeah. If you guys are around at 7 o'clock Eastern, coming up in an hour, we got another event called It's Time to Move. It's a lot of fun. Come by and join us. And Morgan, if you'd push this button, there we go. Awesome.
En route to your position.
Now, this is a Ravenhall Talon hovercraft. You can actually fly the ship if you'd like, and you can do so by joining me outside through this backyard area and as it comes in. And listen, if you've learned anything here today, please share it with those you come in contact with. So if you're in Altspace and you see somebody down on the ground and you say, what's wrong? And you're like, I'm on the quest and I'm stuck on the ground. You tell them to press down on that left thumbstick like it's a button, because it is. They'll feel better, and you'll feel better because you help somebody, and that's how we help keep this thing going. All right, it's going to get in kind of low, but it hasn't hit anybody yet, so don't worry about that. Not that we'll admit to.
Talon aircraft is now boarding outside for transport to the Ravenhall Flight Academy. Please exit the building and step into the blue light. Thank you.
All right, everybody, thanks for coming. You've been a great audience, and I'll see you next time.